to More Fanime. I'm your fan of more anime. What's up, everybody? Today, I'm going to review chapter 1063 of the One Piece manga, and I apologize for the lateness of this review. I know the newest chapter is coming out in just a few days this Sunday, and I've been busy. As you can see behind me, I'm in a new room. Me and my wife, we've moved to the coast. I've got my own badass office, and I absolutely love it. I got this built-in shelving right here behind me for all my badass figures. And as you can see, it's a new time here at More Fanime. It's time for change. But today, let's take a deep dive into chapter 1063. The title of this chapter is My Only Family. And the cover photo is, Pudding has been captured by Aokiji, obviously, because of the frozen cracker, and most of Chocolate Town in Whole Cake Island has been frozen, and you see his sister there just crying her head out. She's like, my sister has been taken. I think in my last review in chapter 1062, I assume Blackbeard wants Pudding to read the poneglyphs for him because he doesn't have anybody like Robin on his crew. And that makes total sense. I mean, why mention the fact that a three-eyed person can read the poneglyphs if you're not going to use that? And that's exactly what Oda's doing right now. Which is going to be really cool because that also means that Sanji will probably be involved in rescuing Pudding when the time comes. But I have a feeling Pudding is going to be, a prisoner of Blackbeard for a while. Also, Kobe is somewhat of a prisoner of Blackbeard as well, from what we know, since he was taken by Blackbeard. We'll have to wait and see. And then from there, we get back to the crew. We get back to Luffy. We get back to Chopper. We get back to Bonnie and Jinbei. And they've just been enjoying that food machine that we saw in chapter 1062. They are inflated with food. They ate to bursting. They are bursting with food. Am I the only one? Because Bonnie is the glutton. Luffy has always been a big food guy. But I mean, Chopper always just seems like he's just tagging along. He's kind of that kid that's like, oh, I like that. I like to do that too. I like to do what you like. Just to be part of the gang. And I kind of wish Chopper was his own guy. Just like Jinbei here. Jinbei is standing there, he probably had a bite to eat as well, but he didn't go gorge himself like Luffy and Bonnie, which fits with their character. Let Luffy and Bonnie have this gluttony moment, Chopper, and you be the doctor. Enjoy your cotton candy, but you don't need to eat to bursting. You're not a gum man, or I guess a Nika fruit human man. You don't need to eat until your stomach's expanded. You are not that type of character, in my opinion. I'm sure it's happened before, but I just feel like Chopper just tags along with whoever he's with and just agrees with whoever he's with. And it's been shown that he's gullible, but he's a learning doctor. He should be much smarter than he is now, especially after the 2-year time skip. I'm just very disappointed in Chopper. I mean, as you guys might know, if you've been following my reviews of One Piece, you know that Chopper is my least favorite Straw Hat. And this is one of those reasons. I don't know who Chopper really is. I don't really know what Chopper really wants. Does he want to be the greatest doctor? I know he's just goofing around with his friends, but I just want to see Chopper go back to his pre-time skip attitude of, he likes to have fun, but he's also not a dum-dum. There was a really funny joke where number 5, Atlas, Vegapunk number 5, mentions they're all, full and big and round, and Jinbei's like, I always look like that. And I literally laughed out loud reading it. From there, though, we get to see Luffy, use his observation hockey after Atlas leaves and goes and does her job of violence. And he noticed in a few seconds, or at least a 10-second, 30-second future sight type technique, he was able to notice that Kuma, or a pacifista to be more precise, is on its way, a police pacifista, which I was, very interested in. Like, is this a pacifista that Vegapunk kept just for this situation, to use security as a security force for Egghead Island, which is super smart. Maybe it's like the first generation of pacifistas that the government didn't want or returned, and he decided to, rework them into a security force. I am curious, though, because when the pacifista does show up after Luffy's like, the bear is coming, and I don't understand why Luffy called him the bear, and I know that his whole thing is he is a bear-like man with the ears and Kuma and whatnot. But this is a pacifista. Luffy knows what a pacifista is. I know it was like a vision of his, but maybe he should have said Kuma's coming, or a pacifista is coming. But this giant police pacifista comes in, running in like a beast, like a bear, coming in and starts firing off light lasers, what's his fucking name? Kizaru lasers out of his palm, destroying part of Egghead Island that they're in, and he's mad. He's going, you have stolen food and clothes. Oh, I forgot to mention, Luffy, Chopper, Bonnie, Jinbei, all get new outfits. Some, more futuristic outfits, except for Jinbei. He went with more of the Hawaiian t-shirt, which I like. I've seen fans say that, Jinbei's kind of like the dad of this group, of these four, and he's got his 3 little kids going out there just having a great time at the circus. And that's kind of the situation. I like Jinbei with the Hawaiian shirt. That's a figure I could see buying. And I did feel like a lot of this chapter was trying to sell new figures for the future. We're probably going to get Luffy in his futuristic outfit. It's not one of my personal favorite outfits that Luffy's ever worn, but it's much different than most of his outfits he's ever worn, which is cool. Chopper gets a nice little outfit. I guess that straw hat thing he was wearing that blew him off the ship in the first place wasn't too important to him, since he decided to switch it out for this futuristic outfit. Thanks for that, Chopper. Bonnie is in a total fan servicey outfit, which I'm here for. Let's go for it, Bonnie. I think she looks good in her outfit as well. I'm hoping the rest of the crew get new outfits as well. Most of the time, when they go to new islands, they usually all get something new. Occasionally, someone might get left out, but I think I'd like to see Zoro rocking one of these space-like outfits. Future type outfits. Maybe it won't fit his style, though, being all samurai-ish. But Zoro, he needs a little bit of a makeover. It's been a minute since he's actually worn something different. Even in Wano, most of the outfits there were just kind of like the one he was already wearing, just different colors. From there, like I said, Pacifista comes in, starts attacking, and Luffy's like, what the hell? How does taking food and clothes count as a death penalty? Because this pacifista ain't messing around. Not one bit. Luffy goes to take this bad boy out, gum, punch of some sort, and out of nowhere, Bonnie comes in and kicks Luffy and says, do not hurt my daddy. And I'm like, Bonnie, this is a pacifista. Like I mentioned with Luffy, there are multiple Kumas or pacifistas out there. And she probably knows, since she was at the reverie, that the revolutionaries have the actual Kuma. And I think she's there to find Vegapunk to fix him and give him back his humanity. My only explanation is the trauma of seeing a pacifista is just too heartbreaking. And also it's too heartbreaking since it's it's her last member of her family. And she's like, it's all I have left. He's my daddy. Leave him alone. So Luffy tries to save her because she's sitting there crying. It was a very sad moment. But Luffy's, I think it'll be even more emotionally impactful in the anime because they'll have a lot more time with the music. I'm sure it's going to be great. It'll be a great place to end an episode where she's about to get annihilated by this pacifista cop. Luffy comes in and he's going to try and save her before she dies because he's like, you idiot, it's a pacifista. And then from there, we get the best part of this chapter. Law makes his return to the series. Law, one of the coolest characters in this series, for sure, and his crew with Beppo, Penguin, Sachi, John Bart, I think his name is. I think it's Bart, the big dude that he rescued from Sabaody. They're there. They're being attacked by none other than the Blackbeard pirates. We can tell right now, this final saga, the main villain is Blackbeard. He has been going all over the damn place, collecting OP devil fruits, trying to at least with Boa Hancock earlier in this saga. Now he's going after Pudding with Aokiji, and now he's here attacking Law and his crew from under the sea. Because remember, Law has a submarine, and they're shooting missiles downwards, and they're shooting them, or what would you call missiles that go into the water instead? I don't know. I guess it would work. Either way, they're shooting the Polar Tang, their submarine, and their crew is like, we need to get out of here. What are we going to do? The ship can't handle this anymore. And then, my biggest problem with this chapter, it's fine, I guess. It's fine. But my biggest problem with this chapter is the fact that Law and the rest of his crew, they get gender bent, and they all turn into females, which is fine. That's cool. I like the idea of that ability that has been shown with Ivankov. I have no problem with Law becoming a female. I have a problem with how it was done. It was done by one of Blackbeard's subordinates, Dr. Q, who has the power now of the Sick fruit. I'm not sure if he's always had this ability, but Oda's drawing attention to it, so I'm assuming it's something they've recently acquired in the last 2 years. And since he can use the Sick fruit, he came up with a feminization type sickness, which it's a double-edged sword here, Oda. Like, I get it. You're giving us the fan service of Law turning into a female, and then the funny, Beppo becoming a female and the rest of his crew becoming a female. But the main focus was Law becoming a female. And now there's female Law. And it's a great picture. It's fine. I'm sure it's going to sell plenty of toys when it comes out, kind of like Future Luffy. But this is just egregious, this amount of fan service that's happening. This is becoming a female is not a sickness, Oda. If you guys can comment down below, let me know if there's a sickness, a disease of sorts that can turn a species into another gender. And if so, then I'll shut up about it. But I don't think that is in any way, shape, or form a sickness. I think if anything, he should have given Doc Q a different fruit that can also include sicknesses and, gender transformations or biology, cellular transformations of sorts. Maybe he's awakened the sick fruit and it can do this now. That's my only explanation for it. He didn't mention the fact that, the sick fruit is so awesome because I've awakened it and I can now change people's genders. He kind of did it as a one-off gag. It was like a one-panel gag of the crew becoming a gender bent. And I'm just like, it's kind of just, I don't know. I know, I'm sure everybody loves it, and I think it's great, and I'm sure I'll buy the figure. Look at the guys behind me. I got a Law right there, chilling, being badass. But it just didn't feel earned. If you're gonna do that, find a way to do it with Ivankov, a character you've already shown has this ability. Have them made up and have that happen there. Or something to that effect. At first, I thought maybe they had killed Ivankov and taken the power of that fruit. I can't remember what it was called, and now Doc Q had that fruit and had awakened it. But no, that wasn't it. It was the sick, sick fruit. And it just really bugged me because it really felt like Oda shoehorned this thing happening for no real good reason, other than to sell figures or to be like, here you go, fan base, here is some fan service. And I'm fine, and because of the story is fantastic, because One Piece is the greatest story ever told, I'm willing to look past this. But in a lesser manga, if I was reading this and something like this, an ass pull of a fan servicey moment happened like this, I would be pretty pissed. And I gotta call out things that I don't like, and that was something I did not like. But let's move on. Other than that, this whole last portion of this chapter was fucking gold, because we have the Blackbeard pirates showing off their new devil fruit abilities. You have Jesus Burgess coming in with the strong fruit after being warped by the warp fruit that Van Auger has, the sniper of the Blackbeard crew. He warps Burgess over to the closest island that Law's crew is trying to escape to. Burgess uses the strong fruit and picks up a literal mountain and chucks it at him. Luckily, Law is a beast, and he uses room and breaks up the fucking mountain into pieces and gets rid of that as quickly as possible. It would have been great if he was able to use room to turn it back at him. So Law starts to get bombarded by, Burgess throwing fucking rocks. And I'm assuming Van Auger is loading up a sniper shot any moment. He's probably the greatest sniper in the One Piece world. And then Blackbeard comes in flying on top of Stronger, Doc Q's horse, who has now obtained the Pegasus fruit, which I also think would have been more interesting if Stronger obtained the bat fruit or something, and he had these huge bat-like wings. That would have been more interesting. It seems like the Pegasus fruit is just too on the nose, I guess, for a horse to have. In my opinion, I'd almost rather a human have a Pegasus type fruit than a horse have it. I just feel it would have been way more cool, or is that even a way of a good sentence? It would have been way more badass if he came in with giant ass bat wings because he ate the bat fruit, or something to that effect. Or even a mythical zone of sorts. Which I guess this is technically a mythical zone or legendary zone, whatever you want to call it. Either way, Stronger's flying there, barely able to hold Blackbeard's weight. And Blackbeard looks down at Law and says, "Hey, you, how many poneglyphs do you have? Because I would like to have those." And Law's like, same to you, buddy. I assume you might have a poneglyph that I need. How about winner takes all? And the chapter ends with them about to go at it. And oh my goodness, I think because it's been a while since we've seen a fight, and usually, when Oda's building up these chapters, they're these Egghead arc, because this isn't even on Egghead Island, so it's kind of interesting. Rarely do you see Oda jump to another area, another island, another battle. But now that, Law and Kid are more important to the story after the long Wano saga, maybe we're going to jump over to Kid next week, or in a couple days. Maybe we'll get to see what Kid's doing. Maybe Kid is going toe-to-toe with Shanks. I know that they had some past issues. There's a reason why Kid lost his arm. I'm pretty sure it was Shanks. So that could be a thing. I know Shanks might be heading towards Bartolomeo, give him a little backhand for burning up his flags on certain islands. But I could also see Shanks taking care of Bartolomeo and then going after Kid. We know that Shanks is pretty much a good guy, but he's got to stand up to these guys that are trying to attack his territories, and he might still have some shiz to deal with our boy Kid. That's my only theory there. What's going to happen, though, here with Law and Blackbeard? Law's crew have not been shown to be the most competent crew. I guess they are competent, but they're not the strongest crew in any way, shape, or form. I still haven't seen our boy Beppo go all Sulong. I think it kind of would be a little bit of an ass pull that they just happened to have a full moon the same time that Blackbeard attacked them. And it would be a bad strategic move on his part to attack a crew that has a Sulong on the crew. But you know, Blackbeard's a little headstrong. Like what happened with him and Magellan. He went straight in and got his ass handed to him by Magellan. His whole crew did, because of Blackbeard not thinking ahead. So maybe they will get lucky. Maybe Beppo's Sulong mode is the strongest Sulong we've ever seen. That's the only way I can see Law's crew even standing a chance against the Blackbeard crew. This isn't just Blackbeard with some of his minions or subordinates that aren't that, that are just running around and, we're pirates, we work for Blackbeard. No, this is Blackbeard's main squad, his original crew. Like, he's got Van Augur, the greatest sniper, as mentioned. He's got Doc Q with a broken-ass devil fruit, the sick fruit. And now he's got Jesus Burgess with the strong fruit. This dude was already strong. Another thing I noticed is Jesus Burgess now has cybernetic enhancements after what Sabo did to him back at Dressrosa. So, Jesus Burgess might have like some kind of laser beam eye for all we know. Not that it will matter. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Jesus Burgess's new devil fruit ability, the strong fruit. I mean, it fits him. It is the perfect devil fruit for a guy like him, the pro wrestler type buff fella that he is. But I almost would have preferred to see Jesus Burgess obtain a Logia-type devil fruit, because really there aren't many members of Blackbeard's crew that have a Logia-type devil fruit other than Aokiji, who I'm still not sure is a real full-fledged member of the Blackbeard crew, so I don't really count him yet. But if you're not going to do that, maybe give Jesus Burgess the power of a zone fruit, and he could just buff out maybe the bear fruit or something to that effect, or something weird like the raccoon fruit, and he just makes the most of it. Something that could make him technically stronger. The polar bear fruit to really go toe-to-toe with our boy Beppo, but something that, makes him buffer, I guess. He's already so buff you can't even tell a difference with him using the strong fruit, is what I'm trying to say. We saw Zoro back at Alabasta. We saw Zoro pick up a fucking building and throw it off of him. And I just don't understand the idea of a strong fruit, because, I mean, most characters in One Piece, at least a lot of characters in One Piece, are abnormally strong. So it's going to be interesting to see exactly how our boy Burgess actually utilizes this fruit to its fullest potential. Like, what does the strong fruit look like when he awakens it, if he ever does? Like, will he just Hulk out, be all steroided out? Like, maybe he will look like a Hulk type character, veins popping out of him. He needs some kind of maybe a transformation that we can visually see, that I can tell that he's at a different level. That's the kind of thing I want to see with Jesus Burgess and this strong fruit. I just wish he got a zone or a Logia. I don't know what Logia he could get. Maybe they could have given him a Logia we've seen in the past, and we could have been like, oh shit, they killed that guy and took his power. Not a big deal. I mean, it fits his character. But the most exciting part is we have Law, who has the power to break out. I didn't even mention this, because I was so mad about the idea of the sick fruit changing people's genders, because it doesn't make any damn sense. But Law was able to break that devil fruit's ability, and not only that, return to his original form. He could give his antibodies to the rest of his crew almost immediately, and everybody else transform back too. So as long as you have someone like Law, who I assume has some kind of Conqueror's Hockey, I don't think it's confirmed yet, but I can assume this dude, he's got the power of the D, Trafalgar D Law or Water Law. This dude does have the power of Conqueror's Hockey. Maybe it has to be Conqueror's Hockey to break it. because he did mention that fighting Big Mom and Kaido showed him that you can block certain Devil Fruit abilities as long as you have enough Haki. I'm very excited to see what happens in chapter 1064 coming up here soon. I am a little bit worried, and I'm not going to lie, that Oda's going to skip on by this fight, and maybe in the next chapter, or maybe we might not even find out the conclusion of this fight until the end of the Egghead Island arc. Like, we might just jump right back to what Luffy or Zoro and the gang are doing right now with the Vegapunk squad. We might finish out Egghead Island and then be like, okay, and Law lost and his crew is all dead. But Blackbeard took Law with him so he could make Law use the Op fruit to give him eternal life. That's a theory. I mean, honestly, he could try and take that Devil Fruit. Why not? It's one of the best Devil Fruits in the entire One Piece world. So why not Paramecia? One of the best Paramecia fruits. Arguably the best Paramecia fruit. You know, we're going to see Blackbeard pulling out his Darkness fruit and his Quake fruit. I can't imagine that Law stands a chance. It took Law and Kid to beat Big Mom. And I got to assume that Blackbeard has to be at least at Big Mom's level of power and ability. This dude's got to be pretty badass at this point, unless he's just been sitting around doing nothing for the last 2 years, just assuming that these Devil Fruit abilities are going to carry him through into the One Piece. But he hasn't mentioned anything about wanting the Op fruit. Maybe he just wants those poneglyph sketchings. So give him some fake ones, Law. I don't think Law's that type of guy. But maybe he'll beat him up and not kill any of them for some reason and just take his poneglyphs. Personally, this is what I would want. I would want Law to give it his damnedest. Give it his all. Give it everything he's got. But then still lose because he's going to be surrounded by major opponents. Maybe a few members of Law's crew go down in the initial battle. But then in the very end, Law's trying to tell his crew, like, run, get on the submarine, go. They want me. They don't want you guys. Give me the poneglyphs. They'll stay around me. And then maybe he gets knocked out. Because Law would never abandon his crew. That would never happen. But maybe if Law, uses everything he gets knocked out by Jesus Burgess or Blackbeard, he's sitting there, Beppo's looking at him going, shit, I'm second in command, I need to make a call. Beppo decides not to run. No. Beppo tells Bart, hey, take our captain, get the heck out of Dodge. I'm going to go Sulong. Beppo goes Sulong. Super badass Beppo for the first and final time. And the rest of his crew, Sachi and Penguin and everybody else who I do not know names, they decide to go out in a blaze of glory. Bart takes, Law and the poneglyphs. They get the hell out of there, off the island, maybe on the submarine, maybe on some other transportation. They keep the Blackbeard pirates at bay long enough for them to escape, probably heading towards Luffy and their crew, thinking that's my only option. Law's knocked out. He can't make a decision. He can't go back and say, no, I'm not going to abandon my crew. Beppo and the rest of the gang, they all get taken down by our boy Blackbeard, and they're gone. They're done for. But we'll always remember Beppo. We'll always remember Sachi and Penguin and the rest of the crew for making that sacrifice. This is the final saga. If Blackbeard can't get this done, if he can't beat Law's crew, who haven't been shown to be that strong, and now he's got the perfect Devil Fruits in his crew, I can't imagine that he'll ever be taken seriously by the fan base. He's got to get this done. He's got to take some heads. He's got to kill some characters that actually mean something to the story, like Beppo. He'd be a perfect first major kill in the New World for Blackbeard to take. Law will still survive. Law is a very important character. I have a feeling the mortal surgery is going to come into play at some point. So that's something I would want to happen. We'll have to wait and see. This is more Fanime. What do you think of the new setup here behind me? What can I do to improve it? Comment down below. Like this video. Help me beat those YouTube algorithms. I'll talk to you later.